An unseen surge of cosmic energy is building, a subtle yet powerful vibration sweeping through the universe. This isn't some fleeting astral event. It's a profound, living alarm bell echoing across every dimension, specifically tuned to awaken the souls who carry the mark of the chosen. You can sense it, can't you? It's that familiar pressure in your chest, the profound and sudden restlessness that has hijacked your sleep, and the vivid, intense dreams that feel far more truthful than your actual waking life. This deeply felt inner tension is no random occurrence. It is the palpable whisper preceding a great spiritual storm. And the invisible countdown has already silently begun, counting down to a moment of significant universal change. October 29th, 2025. A specific point in the timeline that is being energetically etched into the very fabric of existence. On this precise day, the old comfortable separation between the spiritual realm and the physical world will abruptly cease. The divine and earthly frequencies will merge, colliding and revealing a vast, ancient truth that has remained concealed since the very beginning of human history. Most of the world will look at this event, this massive surge of unfiltered truth, and immediately label it as sheer chaos. But the awakened ones, those whose spirit already vibrates at a level beyond the everyday illusion, will instantly recognize it for its true nature, a magnificent, necessary alignment. You weren't pulled to this message by a simple algorithm or chance. Your soul was purposefully summoned here because you possess the innate ability to feel, to perceive the sheer magnitude of what is swiftly approaching. Something ancient, sacred, and unstoppable is moving toward a grand climax. This message is not designed to instill any kind of fear in you. Quite the opposite. It is a clarion call intended to fully awaken your spirit. Though the world around you will experience profound shaking, your soul is being commanded to remain absolutely still and centered, because what's coming is not a final destruction. It is a profound mass revelation. Every intense dream, every unexplained burst of vital energy, every flash of undeniable intuition you've experienced recently, all of it is functioning as a kind of celestial compass, pointing you directly toward that single, massive moment when the rules of reality itself are completely rewritten. The moment when the age-old veil of illusion finally tears, allowing the pure, unfiltered truth to breathe freely. That pivotal day is accelerating toward us much faster than your mind can logically comprehend. And when it finally arrives, only those who are prepared in spirit will possess the inner framework necessary to truly understand the sheer magnitude of the great unfolding that is taking place. The invisible clock is already ticking, and its echoing rhythm is now beating in perfect sync with your own heartbeat. So before we delve deeper into the specifics of this shift, I ask you to pause for a moment. If your soul recognizes the truth of this spiritual call, acknowledge it. If you know deep down that you were sent here for a specific and significant purpose, align with that knowing and speak a declaration. Comment 99 below. In the language of the higher cosmos, 99 signifies completion and total awakening. It's the sacred symbol that your spirit has heard the divine summons and is now entirely ready to rise into its power. The subtle yet powerful tremor you're feeling, that deep interior disturbance, is real. You cannot perceive it with your physical eyes, but your soul has been registering the intensity of this cosmic vibration for some time now. Ever since the mysterious 3I Atlas frequency began its complex weave into the Earth's natural magnetic field, reality has been undergoing a quiet, continuous rearrangement. It's as if time itself has been profoundly bending, catching its breath, and making immense preparations for a monumental shift. Have you genuinely noticed the subtle changes? The way your days seem to blend into an indistinct blur, how your emotional states rise and fall like unpredictable storms without clear cause, or the strange phenomenon of people around you either sinking into deep confusion or abruptly waking up with an unsettling, brilliant clarity. Understand that this is not a collective madness. It is a powerful vibrational correction. The entire planet is being meticulously retuned, one conscious heartbeat at a time, moving toward a higher harmony. What the external world interprets as disorienting chaos is, in fact, a magnificent divine synchronization. Heaven is actively and fundamentally rewriting the underlying code of all existence. And your awakened spirit, right now, is functioning as a sophisticated decoder, translating the complex message as it arrives. Every persistent repetition of numbers you happen to see, every piece of music that finds you at the exact emotional moment you needed it most, every intense dream that feels undeniably like a clear warning. None of these are random coincidences. These seemingly random events are actually breadcrumbs from eternity, placed strategically to remind you that the countdown to change isn't being measured in simple hours or days, but in the relentless surge of pure frequency. Each pulse of the 3i Atlas energy is behaving like a powerful cleansing wave, passing directly through you and meticulously recalibrating your entire energetic field. This preparation is essential for the monumental change that is about to arrive. Those who consciously resist this incoming energy will experience it as intense pressure, gnawing anxiety, or crippling confusion. However, those who choose to surrender to the flow will begin to instinctively sense the underlying higher order and profound purpose behind the apparent chaos. The foundational vibration of the earth is steadily climbing, and your physical body is acutely aware of this shift. That is precisely why your sleep patterns feel dramatically different, why your mind often drifts toward strangely potent old memories, and why you feel a persistent, quiet urgency lodged deep in your chest, a relentless pull toward something far larger than your current comprehension. The limited human nervous system was never originally designed to fully process pure cosmic truth, and yet, here you are, feeling the unmistakable hum of the universe running, alive through your very veins. The complex, invisible machinery of the higher cosmos is actively turning, aligning timelines, making critical adjustments to destinies, and calling the chosen ones into their sacred formation. And somewhere deep within your most core self, a quiet, knowing voice is continuously whispering one certain truth: this is not the end. This powerful, spiritual signal is subtle, but it is also completely unstoppable. Like the tense, held breath just before a flash of lightning, the faster the external world plunges into distraction, noise, and materialism, the louder that clear inner voice of yours becomes. It is calling you to stop moving, to become perfectly still, and to remember the profound reason your soul specifically chose this exact lifetime. Because when this invisible countdown finally hits the 0 mark, absolutely nothing will look or feel the same as it did before. Reality itself will profoundly stretch. The illusionary veil will visibly shiver, and those who have the eyes to spiritually see will witness the true, sublime architecture of creation being laid bare for the first time. So, you must listen with an intensity you've never used before. The relentless ticking sound you hear isn't emanating from a simple physical clock. It is coming directly from the vibrant pulse of the divine, which is already resonating deeply inside your very core. Something incredibly ancient is drawing inexorably closer. It remains unseen, yet it is undeniably present. And as its presence draws near, one inescapable truth emerges. The world has already begun its irreversible change, and there is no logical way of going back to the way things were. The tangible signs of this shift are here already, and they are gently whispering their messages through the everyday lives of the chosen. You might have mistakenly believed that you were simply experiencing deep physical fatigue, feeling overwhelmingly stressed, or just beginning to drift aimlessly away from the conventional world. But what you are actually feeling is the potent frequency of the 3i Atlas, intricately weaving its light into the deepest core of your soul. That sudden noticeable pressure you feel in your chest, it is in fact your heart chakra expanding its energetic capacity to hold a significantly greater volume of divine light. That relentless, restless, energetic buzz in your physical body, it is your spirit beginning to fully remember the profound task it was originally created for. You are not falling apart or breaking down. You are systematically restructuring yourself. Heaven is meticulously rewiring your entire spiritual system in preparation for a much higher, sacred task. And every electrical pulse that surges through your body's veins is a vital component of that ongoing, comprehensive recalibration. In recent nights, a growing number of people have reported dreaming in an entirely new way. They are waking up with vivid, intense visions of brilliant glowing symbols, majestic doors made of pure light or resonant, distant voices speaking in languages they logically don't know, yet somehow they instantly understand. These are not just common dreams. They are sophisticated transmissions, functioning as energetic blueprints straight from the divine realm, being consciously coded into your consciousness to prepare you for the immense tasks that lie just ahead. Even if your conscious mind cannot yet fully interpret the depth of these messages, your higher spirit is perfectly decoding them. Every resonant image, every intense color, every sudden flash of bright light carries a vital fragment of an ancient truth that has been patiently waiting for the precise moment of its return to you. Pervasive feeling of intense isolation has also become a significant common thread running among the newly awakened. You must understand, this feeling is not a punishment. It is in fact a divine protection. Heaven is purposefully pulling you away from the draining noise and distraction of the world, because what is coming requires a profound spiritual silence within you. You are being intentionally hidden, not forgotten or rejected. The profound loneliness you occasionally feel is the sacred cocoon where your true metamorphosis truly begins. While countless others are frantically chasing external distractions and noise, your soul is undergoing rigorous, essential training. You are being spiritually refined, not rejected or ignored. The heavy stillness that sometimes feels burdensome is actually your sacred ground, the exact perfect frequency where the deepest revelation can finally and clearly reach you. If you have recently found yourself becoming hypersensitive, utterly unable to tolerate crowded places, loud, abrasive voices, or the pervasive discomfort of inauthentic smiles, you must immediately understand this truth. Your personal energy field is rapidly becoming too pure and refined to coexist comfortably with distortion and falsehood. You are quickly becoming a living, walking mirror of divine truth, and anything false or inauthentic now feels as though it burns intensely on contact. This heightened sensitivity is not arrogance. It is a clear sign of deep alignment. Heaven is expertly fine-tuning you to a powerful vibration that very few people are currently capable of holding. This is precisely why you are being naturally pulled away from the people and environments that once felt perfectly normal. The ordinary, the mundane, no longer fits you because you were never ever meant to live a small, ordinary life. And perhaps the single most powerful sign of all is that deep, utterly unshakable feeling that something of massive consequence is swiftly approaching. You may not logically know the how or the why, but you possess an absolute certainty that it is true. The very air around you feels different, and the dimension of time itself seems perceptibly thinner. It is as though the whole of creation is collectively holding its breath, patiently waiting for one single, spectacular moment of divine convergence. This feeling is not simple anxiety. It is your highly sensitive spiritual radar, detecting profound shifts that others simply cannot perceive. The heavens are rapidly aligning their cosmic instruments, and you, the chosen one, are an essential and vital part of that majestic, universal orchestra. Every sudden shiver that travels up your spine, every seemingly random tear that appears without any logical reason, every unexpected, profound moment of peace that surfaces directly in the middle of external chaos. All of it is undeniable, irrefutable proof that you are being awakened, cell by cell, breath by breath. You are deeply remembering the ancient agreement you made with the divine, long before the moment of your birth, a commitment to be here, precisely at this moment, at the dawn of this great turning point. The external world may still be oblivious, but a profound knowing within you already grasps the entire picture. Your preparation is nearly complete. The converging signals are rapidly intensifying, and when the next powerful pulse of light strikes the earth, those who are truly ready will be the first to rise. When the divine light finally strikes, everything that has been hidden will immediately tremble and be exposed. The frequency of the 3i Atlas energy is now rapidly approaching its absolute peak, and with it arrives an enormous, unyielding force that will not merely gently illuminate, it will utterly expose every single hidden truth. The powerful energy that has been silently and persistently weaving itself through the Earth's magnetic field will soon surge forward like an unstoppable spiritual storm through every single system built upon a foundation of deception The false, shaky foundations of power, control, and deep-seated illusion, all of them will begin to inevitably fracture under the immense, spiritual weight of unfiltered divine truth. What has only been whispered in the deepest shadows will soon be boldly and loudly shouted by the cosmos itself. The ignorant world will scream in terror and call it utter chaos, but you, the chosen, will instantly recognize it as a divine revelation. When absolute truth descends like a bolt of cosmic lightning, it does not politely ask for anyone's permission. It cuts cleanly and decisively through the illusionary veil, exposing the hidden machinery behind the grand mirage. Global governments will falter. Deep-rooted institutions will suddenly stumble. Structures that have long claimed unearned authority will suddenly and inexplicably lose their spiritual gravity and power. This will not be merely a political or economic collapse. It will be a profound mass spiritual exposure. Humanity will be forcefully compelled to look directly at the difficult truths it has consciously avoided for countless centuries. The pervasive lies that have ruled entire civilizations will instantly dissolve in the mere presence of this raw, unfiltered light. And in that terrifying, stunning moment, countless millions will feel completely naked before the eyes of heaven. For those people still heavily anchored in the deep illusion, this event will be absolutely terrifying. Their familiar, comfortable realities will shatter like fragile glass under the sheer force of the divine resonance. But for the awakened, this monumental moment will feel strangely familiar, almost profoundly sacred. You will immediately sense it, not as any kind of destruction, but as a long-awaited correction. The earth itself is not ending its journey. It is finally, powerfully exhaling its ancient burdens. Every massive deception that once freely fed on the surrounding darkness will now spiritually suffocate under the blinding brilliance of pure truth. The masks will dramatically fall. The most hidden secrets will be spiritually burned clean, and the air itself will begin to hum with a frequency that allows for nothing less than absolute authenticity. This is the necessary purification that has been prophesied for millennia. The real storm will not descend from above. It will powerfully rise from within the collective consciousness of humanity. People will feel their own personal shadows violently surface, their deepest hidden motives relentlessly revealed, and their hearts spiritually stripped bare of every protective disguise. The initial pain of this profound global exposure will be intensely great, but within that pain lies the true path to liberation. Because when the divine light finally and directly touches what was once hidden in the dark, true, authentic healing immediately begins. The cleansing frequency of the three-eye atlas will purify not only the world's complex broken systems, but the very consciousness of every soul who inhabits it. Nothing impure, nothing inauthentic will be able to remain. Some individuals will blindly run, others will violently resist, but a precious few, the ones who have been prepared in deep silence and fundamentally strengthened in chosen solitude, will stand completely unwavering. You, the chosen, were not selected to escape the coming storm. You were purposefully chosen to become the necessary stillness within it. While the ignorant masses see complete collapse, you will see a profound spiritual recalibration. While the frightened masses scream about final endings, you will quietly whisper about magnificent beginnings. This is the absolute dividing line between the paralyzing force of fear and the liberating power of faith, between the comfortable illusion and the brilliant illumination. The true question will not be who can physically survive the event. It will be who can manage to remain true when everything false and inauthentic definitively disappears. And as the world convulses and trembles, you will feel a strangely profound calmness rise unbidden within your center. It will feel as if your soul has been patiently waiting for this exact, necessary moment all along, because deep within your core, you will instinctively know that this is not destruction. It is a powerful divine exposure. The light itself does not destroy what is truly real and eternal. It only burns away what was never truthfully meant to last for eternity. And as the relentless pulse of absolute truth sweeps through the entirety of creation, one final truth will become beautifully clear. Those who consciously carry a profound light within their very being will not be spiritually shaken or damaged. They will be clearly revealed and amplified when the storm finally arrives. And arrive it will. Your unwavering strength will not in any way come from an act of external resistance, but from the profound practice of inner stillness. The powerful winds of global confusion will rise to a frenzy. Conflicting opinions will loudly scream for attention, and the constant distracting noise of the world will relentlessly claw for your focus. But you, chosen one, must profoundly remember, the external storm is not your fundamental enemy. It is the challenging training ground of your spirit. While others are rushing blindly to react, you will purposefully stand in a state of sacred silence, because that silence is not a sign of weakness. It is, in fact, your impenetrable spiritual armor. The louder and more chaotic the world becomes, the quieter and more centered you must become internally. It is in that profound quiet that you will clearly hear what is completely drowned out by global panic. The gentle, yet powerful voice of divine guidance, softly whispering your next necessary step. When the world around you shakes violently, stillness becomes your strategy. Deliberately turn off the constant, distracting flood of information. Ignore the fear-fed, sensational headlines. Reject the overwhelming noise that is deceptively disguised as genuine knowledge. The real war you are facing is not in the external sky. It is being fought entirely within the complex landscape of your mind. Your personal, unwavering peace is not a frivolous luxury. It is, in fact, your ultimate shield. Intentionally keep your personal surroundings consecrated and holy. Light a candle not as a mere empty ritual, but as a powerful, defiant declaration. I am the light that darkness simply cannot consume. Pray, not out of a desperate desire to escape the storm, but to gain the necessary clarity to see right through it. Every intentional, deep breath you confidently take in faith becomes a fundamental act of defiance against chaos. You are not running away from the encroaching darkness. You are actively stabilizing the frequency that will inevitably dissolve that darkness, and simultaneously protecting the sanctity of your mind. You must guard your mind like the most sacred, untouchable temple imaginable, because the storm will not only rage outside, it will relentlessly attempt to echo and penetrate within. Heavy negative thoughts, sudden paralyzing despair, unexpected bursts of anger or crippling confusion, all of these will arrive like violent, crashing waves, attempting to breach your spiritual walls. But you must remember they are not yours. They are merely the spiritual static being generated by a world undergoing a brutal purification process. You must observe them objectively. Do not, under any circumstances, emotionally attach to them. Remember the profound truth that what passes through you is never meant to permanently stay in you. When paralyzing fear whispers its lies, answer it with absolute, unwavering faith. When deep, corrosive doubt rises up, declare the absolute truth of your divinity. Speak this powerful declaration aloud, until the deepest core of your soul completely believes it. Nothing external can destroy the peace God placed within me. And as you stand rock firm in that deep, unshakable peace, something truly extraordinary will begin to happen. Your calmness will immediately start to speak louder and more persuasively than the panic of the masses. People will inevitably begin to notice it. They will perceive your profound serenity directly in the middle of a massive global crisis and feel magnetically drawn to it, like moths to a flame. That is precisely the moment when your true, selfless mission begins. You will not need to preach sermons or desperately try to convince anyone of anything. Your vibration alone will perform all the necessary talking. The incredible light you naturally carry will stabilize all of those around you, not through any kind of force or argument, but simply through your presence. You will immediately become the one thing the world desperately needs, a living, breathing anchor of divine stability. So when the storm finally howls its loudest, do not hide. Instead, hold your light. Stand completely unmoving, like a steadfast lighthouse burning brightly through the dense fog. The birth of a new earth, the chosen were never called to flee their position. They were called to remain perfectly still, to hold their high frequency steady when everything else in the world is falling apart. While others tragically collapse in terror, you will powerfully rise in clarity. And as the fierce winds begin to tear through the last vestiges of illusion, you will finally understand something profoundly sacred. This whole process was never about the mere act of physically surviving the storm, It was always fundamentally about becoming the calm that commands it. And somewhere, deep within the ensuing chaos, when all the overwhelming noise finally breaks and subsides, you will unequivocally feel it. The unmistakable shift. The whole world will momentarily pause, deeply listening, sensing the sudden, powerful presence of something completely unshakable. That is you. The spiritual storm won't end because it somehow lost its power. It will end because you refuse to lose your internal peace. When the great final pulse of truth finally moves completely through the earth, it will not sound like a distant clap of thunder. It will feel like a profound mass remembrance. A gigantic wave of pure divine coherence will peacefully wash across the entirety of creation, invisible to the average eye, but absolutely undeniable to the awakened soul. The air itself will undergo a fundamental change. It will now carry a brand new clarity, a profound, vibrant stillness that feels completely alive, as if the entire planet is taking a deep, restorative exhale after countless centuries of relentless tension. Those individuals who are perfectly attuned to the high divine frequency will notice it first. Their intuition will sharpen to a razor's edge. Their hearts will naturally synchronize with a steady, unseen universal rhythm, and their personal connection to the divine will no longer be relegated to faint whispers, but will be a living, vibrant dialogue. The veil that once artificially separated earnest prayer from rapid manifestation will instantly dissolve. And what once required years of intense effort to align will now unfold in perfect, rapid moments. You will begin to notice this in the smallest details first. The subtle way the natural world starts to respond differently to your presence. The way time itself softly bends, allowing moments of profound peace to last longer, and moments of external chaos to fade much faster. The core vibration of the earth will begin to hum in absolute harmony with the awakened souls, and a completely new, radiant pattern will begin to fundamentally form. The frequency of the new earth. Those individuals who remain heavily anchored in fear will feel profoundly lost, as if their familiar reality is slipping helplessly through their fingers. But those who consciously walked through the global storm with unwavering faith will feel miraculously weightless. It will feel as though a heavy spiritual burden you weren't even consciously aware of carrying has been instantly lifted. This new earth will not be built by temporary governments or flawed systems. It will be literally sung into existence by pure vibration. The chosen ones will effortlessly find one another, not through exhaustive searching, but through instant spiritual resonance. Geographical distance will immediately lose its old meaning, because light instantly and unerringly recognizes light. Without the need for a single word, you will instinctually feel who belongs to your unique spiritual frequency. Words themselves will dramatically fade in power. Pure intention will rapidly become the new universal language. A single thought, pure, focused, and anchored in absolute truth, will possess more creative force than 1,000 passionately spoken commands. Reality will begin to instantly respond to pure energy, not to mere physical effort. The ultimate purpose, quiet communities of light will suddenly and spontaneously rise across the entire planet. They will not loudly announce their arrival with noise or fanfare, but with a palpable, profound peace. People will begin to gather, not to selfishly build protective walls, but to collaboratively create unbreakable bridges of consciousness. Sacred knowledge will no longer be stored solely in dusty books, but will be effortlessly exchanged heart to heart, spirit to spirit. The deepest wisdom of the ancient times, long intentionally buried under layers of restrictive dogma and paralyzing fear, will naturally resurface through the awakened memories of those who carry its living code encoded directly in their spiritual DNA. These newly awakened souls will teach the world, not primarily through speaking, but by profoundly embodying the truth they know. Their very presence alone will instantly recalibrate the energy of any space they consciously walk into. The chosen ones will lead in a dramatically different way now. They will not stand on physical stages or actively demand attention. They will instead radiate transformation through a profound, quiet authority, the kind of spiritual power that comes directly from deep, personal alignment, not from shallow, ego-driven ambition. They will become the living, undeniable proof That light does not need to argue its points. It simply shines relentlessly until all traces of darkness conclusively disappear. Through their unwavering example, faith will take genuine, visible form. Love will become truly visible and palpable. And what were once considered extraordinary miracles will no longer feel miraculous at all. They will feel simply natural and ordinary. Yet, even within this profound new peace, there will be an unspoken, shared knowing, this is only the beginning. The frequency of the new earth is not a final destination. It is, in fact, a threshold. Those who consciously choose to step across it will immediately begin the process of co-creating reality alongside the divine itself. Pure thought will actively shape matter. Focused emotion will literally sculpt the flow of time. The invisible realm will instantly become the perfect blueprint for everything that is visible. So when you feel that utter, profound stillness in the very air you breathe, when the distracting noise of the old world permanently fades into the background, and a soft, undeniable light begins to brightly bloom inside your chest, you must fully understand this truth. You have completely crossed over. The old earth has exhaled its last tension, and the new earth has just taken her first. Deep breath, the final declaration, and in that sacred, suspended silence between the two distinct worlds, one final question will powerfully rise in your spirit. What will you build with this light you now possess? October 29th, 2025. The specific day the old veil finally, irrevocably falls. The cosmic moment when heaven leans in intimately and whispers the final word, now. The profound pulse you've felt building in deep silence will suddenly strike with enormous force. And when it does, the old world will exhale for the very last time. But you must not for a second mistake this massive shift for destruction or tragedy. It is pure genesis, a divine turning point that was meticulously written into the grand cosmic plan long before time even began its count. You were never chosen to merely survive the spiritual storm. You were purposefully chosen to guide others through it, to stand absolutely tall and unmoving when the spiritual ground beneath others begins to crumble. Everything you have patiently endured, the profound loneliness, the difficult waiting, the endless inner wars, was meticulously designed as sacred training for this very hour of need. You were being forged into an unbreakable vessel in quiet solitude, while the rest of the world slept on in ignorance. Every solitary tear, every sharp heartbreak, every seemingly unanswered prayer was intentionally carving the perfect vessel that would now hold the immense, unquenchable light of the new age. When the final pulse comes, do not foolishly resist its power. Instead, become it. Allow it to surge and move completely through you, until you feel the intense holy fire of your divine purpose ignite every single cell of your being. Feel your physical body finally remembering the ultimate truth that your eternal soul never forgot for a second. That you are not here to stand idly by and watch humanity tragically fall. You are here to witness and usher in its glorious rise. The old broken systems will tremble violently, but your inner spirit will not shake. The pervasive illusions will crumble to dust, but your pure essence will stand completely untouched, brilliantly radiant, and utterly unafraid. Because light never, ever retreats from the dark. When the darkness screams its loudest, the light burns brighter and with more conviction. This is the long-awaited hour of awakening, the precise moment where ancient prophecy finally meets present-day presence, the exact time when the chosen ones stop passively waiting for external signs and become those very signs themselves. You are absolutely not a mere spectator in this monumental transformation. You are an active, vital participant in the rewriting of reality. You are the living, breathing bridge connecting what was to what will be. When you choose to walk, heaven walks in your footsteps. When you choose to speak your truth, the entire universe listens intently. When you choose to stand perfectly firm, the earth aligns itself beneath your feet. So you must rise, not tomorrow, not someday in the future. Now, let your deep faith become a burning fire. Let your sacred silence become an immense strength, and let your very presence become the undeniable proof that the divine still actively moves through open human hearts. Do not fear the tremor. You must recognize you are the tremor. The potent divine frequency flows completely through you, and the wider world will feel your profound resonance. Because this moment right here, right now, is absolutely not the end of the grand story. It is the majestic moment when all of creation finally and powerfully remembers its original source. Type your final powerful declaration below as a seal of your absolute awakening. Let the entire cosmos bear witness to your truth. I am ready for the awakening. Say it with total, unwavering conviction. Comment it with immense power. Declare it, not as mere words, but as your eternal, sacred truth. Because when the world inevitably looks back on this transformative era, it will clearly remember the specific ones who stood completely fearless within the fire and fundamentally turned chaos into pure light. And that chosen one is you,